one of the interesting things is when we've been looking at the survey questions, matching those to proxies, it's been a lot of work, hasn't it? It's been hard, tough thinking, and we've been challenged by the team, the social value engine team, if there are proxies or questions that are a little bit similar. And we might look at a survey and think, oh, there's a nuance in the response. It is a different thing that we're asking, that actually when we're putting it into a financial proxy value, if they're too similar, there's a danger that you're sort of reporting the same impact. So it's been really interesting, hasn't it, to have that voice.
It has, and it's made us really think. And that Jen's been brilliant at the social value engine at asking us some hard questions, like, well, why do you ask that question? What do you mean by it? What is it going to tell you? And because with the financial proxies, you can only use one set of data against it. You have to make some choices about, well, actually, which is the most important of your questions that relates to that financial proxy that you're going to use in the social value engine. So I think that's been a really interesting process for us. And there's been quite a lot of spreadsheet versions as we interrogated that. But actually, once we've run the first pilot project, we're now much more familiar with how that works. And we've been doing a lot of work around that kind of survey question and financial proxy matching at the moment, which is, that conversation with the social value engine teams really helped us to challenge ourselves as we've been doing that, which means we're getting better at it each time we do it, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's been really interesting to see the two years of project that we've put through that, and how valuable it's been to do that so consistently. We've had almost all exactly the same survey questions and proxies that we've used, because it's been sort of a similar project, but then we've accounted for some of the differences and the added value in the sort of second year. But being able to compare those directly is a great way to look at it as well and see. I think it would be a real indicator for us if there was significant movement in that year on year, and looking at trends. I think is going to be, hopefully we do it again.
Yeah, we will. And those trends have been very interesting because actually it's making us think about, with a long-term approach where it's a similar model that you use most years, and maybe the same people are participating for across 2, maybe 3 years. The questions you ask, should we keep them the same? Should we look at them differently from a different angle? Because people's confidence and knowledge of what they're doing is going to grow each time. So what questions worked, say, 3 years ago may not now actually work and give you a useful bit of impact data. So it's helping us to kind of start thinking on a longer term basis about our evaluation approach, which I think is, it's quite straightforward to think about a project, but then if you're thinking about the same project over a few years and how that might change, that's a different ball game again.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the benefits of it as well, is it's not just, here you go, here's the answer, this is it. It's helping us to ask more questions, and that in turn is going to help develop better work and inform that strategy and approach moving forward.
Yeah, asking those right questions as well, because not every survey question that you are going to use is about social value. And that's something that, we have to think long and hard about in terms of what we do put in, particularly when we're looking at kind of assessing the quality and of an artistic output. That's about the artistic output, not the social value. So you get into some quite detailed conversations about where different evaluation survey questions fit, and it's a very interesting process. And it I think every time something forces you to think about your evaluation and your work in a different way, that's a positive thing, because it means we're always moving and developing and improving how we're doing it.